Hey, don't speak about my husband that way. That's what I heard my friend Maureen say to her own kids last month. She was grinning, it was mid-dinner, and they were piling on daddy. Everybody laughed. And Maureen's husband is one of the guys I know that tries harder than almost anybody else. Because you know that couple. 15 years in, and he still plans the dates, books the sitter, notices the haircut. They're just so cute, it's almost annoying. And maybe you've told yourself the story that every woman tells herself about that couple, that she just got a good one. They didn't just get lucky. I've coached over 1,000 couples over the years, and the wives of husbands who really try hard and put in the effort are not luckier, prettier, or more patient than you. They do 5 specific things. Things that are so rare these days that when you actually see them in the wild, you stop and stare, as I did when I heard Maureen say that. That line you just heard, don't talk to my husband that way, that's the first one. And number 4 is the one that everybody fights me on. But just try it and you'll see it changes everything. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Avital. I'm the mother of 5. I've been married for over 20 years. And not the Instagram kind of 20 years. I did precisely none of these 5 things in the first few years of our marriage. Which is how I know exactly what happens without them. We had years of recurring, painful conflict. Separation was genuinely on the table. But I built the marriage of my dreams with the husband I already had. And since then, I've coached thousands of couples around the world. My mission is to help you to build a strong family culture. And the foundation of a strong family culture is a strong marriage. Okay, let's get into the 5 things. Number 1, she is loudly, publicly in his corner. So thing 1 is that sentence that you already met with my friend Maureen. She is loudly and publicly on his team. When I first met Maureen, anytime anyone would say anything about her husband, tease him, it was all in good fun, but she would immediately jump to his defense. How dare you talk that way about my husband? If you're going to insult my husband, you'll have to go through me first. It was a joke and it was hilarious, but it was also completely serious. And her family knew that, down to the toddler. I think every time that Maureen jumped in to defend him in this funny, cute, flirty type of way, her husband's chest just swelled with pride. He really felt like his woman is on his team. She cares about what is said about him. If we were in a coffee shop and we were ordering coffee, she would say dramatically and flamboyantly, "No, my husband gets the coffee first." It was definitely a bit, and she was definitely putting on a bit of an act, but it was so cute and endearing. And it made him feel like the guy. Now flip it. Count how many times your girlfriends have roasted their husbands at brunch. How often do you see a wife roll her eyes when her husband talks? How often do you yourself say things like, "must be nice," in front of the kids? On a serious note, the Gottman Research Institute calls contempt the single biggest predictor of divorce. And its documented antidote is what he calls a culture of fondness and admiration. And this is not private fondness. It's a fondness and admiration culture, out loud and in front of witnesses. What counts here is that the happiest wives actually big their husbands up in front of other people. Their kids, their in-laws, the parents, the friends, the colleagues. When she says something like, "Hey, you don't talk about my husband that way," those are words of a culture of admiration. And this is something most of us did not watch our mothers do. We're used to seeing women complain about their husbands, belittle them, dismiss them, emasculate them, and point out all of their shortcomings, even publicly. We're used to seeing a public culture of contempt. Contempt is what happens when resentment bubbles over. And you actually feel dismissive or even disgusted by this guy, by the guy that you chose to love and cherish till death do us part. The happiest wives who get their husbands to try the hardest for them are the ones who flip that on its head. They're the ones who even go overboard in making their husbands feel admired. They act out explicitly their fondness for their husband. The fact that he is number 1 in their eyes. Steal this tactic. Use it in front of your kids, your brother-in-law, the boss. Watch his face the first time you do this and come back and tell me what happens in the comments below. Number 2, her default is yes. I remember the first time I saw a wife whose default answer to her husband was yes, and my jaw hit the floor. Whenever he asked for something that appeared to be way extra and that it didn't look like she even afforded herself, her default answer was, yeah, let's figure out how we can make that work. He wanted to spend a weekend with the guys. He wanted to go out with his brother that night for dinner. He wanted to do a colleague barbecue in their house or go for a ski vacation in the middle of the school year, poker night, golfing, some harebrained garage project. And her answer was always, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen for you, baby. Her working theory was, I'm here to make this guy happy, and he's here to make me happy. So if he would like to do something in his life, he should feel the freedom of movement, the freedom to try, and we'll figure out the details later. The truth is that in practice, some of his ideas and projects wouldn't pan out. They would look at the dates together or at the budget and realize that this wasn't on the cards. But the fact that she had a default yes, details later attitude completely changed their marriage in a way that most marriages suffer. Most marriages have a default no. You have a tit-for-tat feeling that you're in competition with your partner and you're fighting over the same limited resources, fighting over the same pie. This creates that victim impoverished mindset that I never get mine. Why should you go out golfing on Sunday morning when I haven't been to the gym all month? How is it fair for you to sleep in on Saturday when I'm the one who's always up with the kids every day of the week? That kind of tit-for-tat competition is the norm. So if that's the reality in your household, I mean, don't feel bad about it. It's really what we see everywhere. But understand what this can do for your marriage and to your man. A husband who has to petition for his own life, who has to approach his wife like a teenager begging for the car keys, starts to feel managed and even trapped. And managed men do what managed teenagers do. They stop asking, they start sneaking, or they just go flat. But a trusted man, a man whose wife doesn't do the calculating thing the minute he asks, he boomerangs. He starts defaulting to yes to her. She's created a yes culture. A you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. She's created a virtuous circle where, hey, I always want to help you live your best life. And you in turn are going to help me live my best life. She knows that what men want and what women want are not always the same. Maybe he wants an afternoon of video games with his buddies, and she wants a day at the spa by herself once a month. When he gets his, he's going to be bending over backwards to make sure that she also gets hers. Now you might say, but Avital, this is a chicken and an egg situation. Why does she have to go first? She doesn't have to go first, but she's the one watching this video and someone has to go first. So let's just get this rolling, shall we? Look around you. You'll notice that the default yes husbands, the ones who wrestle all the kids into the car and take them camping for the night so she can get a day to declutter the house in quiet, they're almost always married to default yes wives. And somebody went first. It might as well be you. Thing number 3. She brags about him where he can hear it. Men are shoulder-to-shoulder connectors. They don't like the face-to-face, eye contact, heart-to-heart type of connection. They like to do things on the go, as the action is rolling. So the happiest wives are less about complimenting him directly to him, but more about giving testimony about him. On the phone to her mom, she'll say something like, ask David, he's always so great at this stuff. To her kids, she might say something like, watch Daddy fix that. Daddy can fix anything. The truth is that overheard praise lands about 10 times more powerful than face-to-face praise does. Because we know that face-to-face praise might be flattery. You might be buttering someone up or trying to get something manipulatively. But what you say about him when he's not the point, that sounds like what you actually believe. And hopefully it is. He will walk taller for a week just hearing you talk about him that way. And the compounding effect is that the kids treat their father exactly how their mother refers to him. If you narrate him as capable, you will get a capable dad. Thing number 4, she greets him like the dog. Yeah, I said that. Watch the dog when he walks in. The dog drops everything, has pure delight, and there are 0 grievances filed in the first 60 seconds. The dog is so thrilled to finally reunite with him. It's just pure joy that he's walked in the door, and the dog is so excited to reconnect and snuggle up. Now, watch many of us wives when our husbands walk through the door. Do you even look up? Or are you staring at your phone? And is the first thing you say to him a task line or a charge sheet? The first 60 seconds set the temperature for the entire reunion. And you get about 15 reunions a week, a couple times a day at least. That is 15 weekly chances to teach his nervous system what it's like to be with you. Are you going to teach him that home is where I'm chased down, nagged, and criticized? Are you going to teach him that home is where my never-ending to-do list lives? Are you going to teach him that home is where I feel weak and like a failure and like I'm not wanted? Or are you going to teach him that home is where I'm wanted? Sure, you have grievances to file, but how about you file them at minute 5, not minute 1? I can feel you, some of you typing, I am not his golden retriever. And I will see you in the comments respectfully, because this is a hill I'm willing to die on. Being warm costs almost nothing, and it sets the entire tone for the relationship. And just ask yourself for one moment, what would you want to come home to? Thing number 5, she asks instead of hints. The happiest wives, I have learned, make it embarrassingly easy to win with them. They're easy to please. They say what they want. I want flowers on Friday. And when the flowers arrive on Friday, is she deflated because she had to ask so it doesn't count? No, she's delighted because she is playing a different game. She's not playing the stupid game that we all play, prove that you can read my mind. If you can read my mind, it means you love me. That game has no winners. She's playing a different game. Her game is called, let me show you what makes me happy and then reward you lavishly when you do it. Hints for most husbands are literally invisible. It's not that they ignore them, it's that they never saw them to begin with. They were invisible. So you're playing a whole entire game with yourself in your own head. You drop some kind of hint, you expect him to read your mind and execute it on your schedule and to your standards. And then when he inevitably doesn't, because he never heard the hint, you reserve the right to be mad that he doesn't really love you, he doesn't really care. So when he accuses you of making up an argument in your head, he's kind of right. Now, there is a whole grammar to actually asking in a way that he actually acts on. And that's exactly what I'm going to be teaching you in my upcoming challenge, Speak Husband. I'm going to tell you about that challenge in just one moment. Now, I bet someone is warming up their comment fingers to type up, what, I have to do everything and show gratitude? What is this, 1952? Listen to me. Every one of these 5 things that the happiest wives do is a power move. The wife doing them isn't submitting. She isn't surrendered. She's steering. She decided what culture her marriage is going to run on, and she's installing it unilaterally, without waiting like Snow White in a coma for him to do it first, because she is the one watching this video. That's not weakness. That is being the thermostat instead of the thermometer. And their husbands, I've met these men. They're the most devoted. These women aren't lucky. They are skilled. And this is a skill that you can learn. So I want you to tell me right now in the comments, which of these 5 skills are you going to practice this week? And which one made you want to throw tomatoes at your screen? I want to hear it all, especially from the golden retriever objectors. Remember, your husband doesn't read my comments, but I read every single one. And I will be answering the best questions, sometimes here, sometimes on Instagram, sometimes in my newsletter. So make sure that you're subscribed at highfam.com/newsletter. But I never decide in advance what I'm answering first, so make sure that you follow me everywhere. And if today hit a nerve for you, I have built something for you. Really soon, I'll be opening the very first Speak Husband Challenge. It's 3 short trainings, and in it, you're going to learn really powerful skills to transform your marriage. In part 1, you're going to learn why the man who loves you feels attacked when you share your feelings, and the 30-second daily habit that starts rewiring it that very same day. Part 2, you're going to learn the script, word for word, on how to give feedback or share critique in a way that actually lands for him and doesn't shoot his defenses up. And in part 3, you're going to learn how to make him want to be the man you married, the one who tries, plans, notices. Each training is under 30 minutes and it's completely free. He never has to know you're doing it, although I promise you he'll notice. Most women tell me they feel the temperature change dramatically in their house within the first week. So go to highfam.com/speakhusband. That's speakhusband, one word, or tap the link below this video. Make sure to register so you don't miss that training, and meanwhile, keep on living that high fam life. I'll see you in the next one.